And now the latest in the 2016 deep stakes. Donald Trump aides are claiming that the highly anticipated announcement could come as early as next week. The business mogul met with Indiana Governor Mike Pence and Iowa Senator Joni Ernst over the holiday weekend and will appear with Tennessee Senator Bob Corker at a North Carolina rally just a few moments from now. Also reportedly on Trump's short list are former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions. Joining me now to discuss Dave Morey, Matt Keelen, and Boris Epshteyn. Matt, let me start with you. A lot of anticipation. I was filling in on your world on the news channel. Chris Starwall said none of the above is going to be someone that we could never expect. How do you see it?
I think he's going to look to the Midwest. Joni Ernst and Mike Pence, to me, are kind of the front runners right now. If you look at his battle plan, Charles, for this election, he's got to win states like Ohio, Iowa, Michigan, put Pennsylvania in play. And I think both of those politicians do that for him. Joni Ernst is a great pick. She's a former general. She's a senator. She has great relations on the Hill. She's a rising star in the Republican Party. And what I like about Pence is a former member of Congress, so he brings executive experience as well as congressional experience.
Yeah, you know, Boris, here's my problem with those two. I love Ernst. In fact, I think I was the first person on this network to say she had a chance to win the Senate. But having said that, Donald Trump has criticized Elizabeth Warren for not getting a lot done. I mean, you don't get a lot done when you're in your first term as a senator, no matter what. So that criticism can be turned on him. I looked at some of the stuff she's done on trade. I'm not sure if that could be used against him. And also with Pence, he was a little lukewarm. Now, I know he endorsed Cruz, and it wasn't the most rousing endorsement of all, but he did go with Cruz over Donald Trump. You're closer to the campaign. What are you sensing?
Well, if anything, there's not a negative with somebody like a Pence endorsing Cruz and then turning to Trump, because it says that the party's uniting behind, coalescing behind Donald Trump. So there's a positive there. I think all these names are great. You know, we've talked about this before. I strongly believe we have an unusual candidate here who fills the role at the top of the ticket and a lot of the bottom of the ticket. Because a lot of times the reason you pick a VP is to be the attack dog. Well, we all know how good Donald Trump is on the attack, or to be brash. We know
what about the point of winning one or two of those critical swing states, particularly along the Rust Belt?
I think it's important, but I think a lot of these options do that. Ernst does that, Pence does that. I think Newt Gingrich goes a long way, too, because of his experience. Even Joe Biden said that he respects Newt Gingrich a lot. So a lot of good options to pick from. And if you contrast the Republican bench for VP versus the Democrat bench, I mean, it's complete oil and water. It's completely different, right? The Republicans have so many experienced people. The Democrats are really grasping at straws.
Well, David, let me go to you on that. Are the Democrats grasping for straws? I've heard a variety of names, including Cory Booker, Julio Castro, who I think would be a disaster, to be quite frank with you. Elizabeth Warren, you know, maybe to get that enthusiasm from the far left. How do you see that shaking out?
Well, I think it's down, my guess is it's down to three frontrunners. Elizabeth Warren, who would bring some electricity to the ticket, although two women is complicated demographically. But they had good electricity on the campaign trail. Tim Kaine, but I'm not sure that brings more charisma to the ticket, enough charisma, if you will. Let's put it that way. I think Sherrod Brown is a very interesting pick because of what he does for Ohio.
Yeah, the problem, though, there is that I don't know that they want to go for any senators. The hopes is if you, of course, win the White House, you can take the Senate along, and you wouldn't want to take away a key senator. Matt, let me ask you about that. Two women on the ticket. A lot of people were saying, or were hoping for a long time, that Donald Trump would consider a woman. I know the Trump campaign is more or less says, hey, we don't pander like that. If someone's qualified, they're qualified. But would that be something that could counter the sort of domination that Hillary is seeing among women in the polls? Well,
to your point earlier, Charles, I do think that there is possibly a surprise pick coming out of Donald Trump. And the person that I think I hear about the most and who would be an awesome pick is Susana Martinez out of New Mexico. Now, I know they have their history, but I also know that they've been talking over the recent couple of days. I think she would be a phenomenal pick, would put a lot of energy into the ticket, and I think it would also counter Hillary's strength with women.
What do you think, Boris?
I think Elizabeth Warren will hurt the Hillary ticket. They don't get along. Elizabeth Warren stands against everything Hillary stands for, right? Elizabeth Warren has been railing against Wall Street. Hillary Clinton is bought by Wall Street. They disagree on trade. So that's not a good ticket. Plus, personally, they do not actually get along. So as far
as they don't have to necessarily get along.
Right, but if they don't agree on anything and don't get along, then actually I think Hillary Clinton's a pretty bad actress.
Susana Martinez.
Interesting opportunity, interesting pick. Again, they've had the issues in the past, but the Republicans are coalescing behind Donald Trump. So it would be just like a Governor Pence, a move of saying, hey, we used to disagree, but now we're united.
I think it would be even better than Pence in many respects, considering how acrimonious that encounter was. Guys, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.